you guys got the letter, and I was talking about how we're going to abandon the RIO because I would have paid $5,500 to do that had I known we could have done everything we wanted to do under current zoning. And that was, not an intentional mistake. It was when I was getting the advice from the city, they said to do what you want to do, you have to be RIO.
What is RIO?
Residential, institutional, and office.
Okay.
And,
That's not going to happen though.
yeah, and I agreed with everybody when we're arguing what somebody could do in the future. We don't want it zoned that way.
Okay.
But had I known I could do it under conditional use, I would have never even tried that. So, but, and it was one of the planning board guys that's no longer on the planning board told me, he goes, you could have done that under conditional use. I saw him and his wife at the wine library, yes. So that's why I switched, got with Evis and Catherine, and under conditional use, I can do the weddings under social club, which was a big deal because weddings do very well around here. And this, what we're doing, we're going to show you the plans that we're doing. It's going to be a nice high-end wedding venue. We want to also do 6 bed and breakfasts. I was going to do 10, but because we're repurposing the west side, it's better that it just goes on to the east side. And it's actually nicer because it has 3 of the 6 bed and breakfasts are going to handle, a good sized family or the wedding, the bridesmaids, and if they all want to stay in one big room with this, has like a common area, these little rooms off the side, they can do that. So it's going to be a nice place to, for people that are coming from out of town, or even if they just want to be in, because not everybody's going to be from Dade City that's going to come and use the wedding venue. So, and then what we're adding on the west side of this, which we'll get into, Rachel's going to be talking about that because that's going to be what she's running, is going to be a school. So we're starting with pre-K through 6th grade this year. And that's not a conditional use, it's something that's already permitted, so.
Yes.
But, so that's our plans. I don't think it's anything scary now compared to RIO. And again, I was, if I was in the audience and somebody else was doing that and I knew what RIO was, knowing that, I would have been scared. But, so I apologize that I went down that road, but I didn't need to go down a road that we went down, so. Okay. Yes, I guess. It's Rachel's turn. I'll be back up. Okay, yeah, we can go through those now. So the pink is the west side. So the operating company that, hold on, Ava's not ready.
I'm ready, I missed up.
So the operating company that we incorporated, and you might want to show them what it looks like now and what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
So show them now.
I saw it,
Yeah.
So everybody can guess what that looks like, right?
Yeah, the White House.
Right.
Yes.
So the operating company is going to be the DC White House, the DC for Dade City.
Okay.
And it's already incorporated, approved, it's fine. Huh? Yeah, it's the DC White House. Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, I think it's gonna brighten up the neighborhood a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I already have molds that we're ordering to make the balcony railing. I got molds that are gonna go around the windows, so it looks like the White House. And so I have a machine at my house that we can pour the concretes and you can add perlite and stuff, make them lighter, but to make all the trim, which is the molds that you can use up to 200 tons, so it should work out for you. And painting it white, it really makes a nice look.
No bells.
No, I'm not taking down this fire.
I know, but there would be no bells ringing.
No. Unless there's a fire.
Okay.
But hopefully not. Basically, this would be a hard building to burn down the way it's built in anyway. So, and then on the west side of it, for the school, well, if we have the White House and you got the west side, you know what the name's going to be, right? West Wing Academy.
Oh, very good.
So,
Yes.
and that's already
Okay, West Wing Academy. I
the
like
West Wing
that.
Academy. That's already approved. Rachel has
West Wing
run.
anything.
Just ask you, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Is that better? I'll eat the mic.
Are your hearing aids on? No, it's okay. I'll tell you later.
So, and there's a couple of our logos. One's going to be for like hats, and the other one's going to be for like the shirts and the uniforms, because they will have uniforms.
Oh, good.
It's going to be a private school. Rachel has run two schools in Tampa that were 10 out of 10 ratings. She's also run private schools. I'll let her talk about her resume, but these, you guys know what the ratings are for the local schools. They're not very, very good.
I said they're not good.
So,
See, they're gonna have a school here.
I'm going to turn it over to Rachel right now.
Okay.
Good morning. It's not afternoon yet, and I'm a little loud anyway, so tell me if I'm.
You're fine.
No, you're
My
fine.
voice is in a different octave than Steve's is. So I'm Rachel Robinson. I'm a native Floridian. I've lived in the Tampa Bay area my entire 41 years. I am married. I have 7 children, blended family. 6 of those are girls. If you pray, pray for us. They are now all in high school
Whoa.
or graduated.
Uh-huh.
I have a grandson who is 3, and he is in a little daycare. He'll be coming to this one when he turns 4. And then I have a granddaughter who's going on 5 months old, Macy, and Elias is my grandson. So my tenure in education started almost 20 years ago. I've been in public, private, and charter. I actually oversee an educational services company who also serves homeschool students in the area. My passion is quality education. It's not your middle of the road, generic, what everybody gets. I'm looking at the kids in front of me. I'm determining what their passion and their proficiencies are with my staff. And then we're working to put programming in place for them that meets that. So whether that is AI or nursing, medical science types of fields, or whether that is trades, that is what I'm aiming to do, is really to reinstill, like it was when I went to school, an authentic belief that I could do whatever I wanted, but then actually providing a pathway for kids to do that. So we'll start initially with that pre-K 4-year-old up through 6th grade this year, and then as we continue to operate year over year, we'll expand to include middle school and then subsequently high school level, as we are able to serve the community, and really just give a different opportunity. I'm not somebody who's going to stand and tell you that public schools are bad and the teachers are bad. I don't think that's the case. I think that the system is a bit broken, and they don't have the ability to be creative and really do what they're trained to do. They're told be on page 5 on Tuesday, and if you're not, we'll dock your pay. So that creates quite a situation for our students and our future workforces. And so I'm just excited for the opportunity to even be here, particularly in Dade City that is both kind of a mix. It's your whole town feel, and I like that community. I like getting to know people and what are their talents and interests and history, and incorporating that, but then also knowing that there is development coming, and therefore families with children, and they need access to, you know, not only just quality educational, but also opportunities for family types of events, movie nights. I love karaoke. I'm not gonna sing for you today, but I love it. It brings people together, it gives them common ground to work from, and that's something that's very important to me in my field of education, is bringing that to as many students in as many places and making it accessible to them as I possibly can. So that's my spiel. And it's what you'll hear if you find me in Tampa, it's what you'll hear if you find me in Brandon, it's what you'll hear if you find me 10 years from now. It's not gonna change. It's just, my dad wanted me to be an accountant, and I didn't want to be an accountant.
So
I
tell
wanted
us
to
more about
impact.
the school and your schedule, things like that. activities, all that good stuff. And then also, since this is only taking up a quarter, basically, or a third of the space, but your intent is to expand, can you also talk about your expansion your kind of future plans?
Sure, the expansion is well, let me start with where you started. So the schedule will be a traditional school year type of schedule. August 17th is the first day. I like starting on a Monday. The traditional schools like start on Thursdays or something, and I just don't like it. Through May 28th, which would be the last Friday in May. Traditional school type of schedule, and full range of classes available. So I've gone and met with numerous publishing companies to select curricula that allow both flexibility and built-in supports for the students, but then also for the teachers. Initially, that pre-K through 6 will be operating in the bottom portion, and depending obviously on registration, the top floor becomes available. The goal is to have that by January. I'm a bit of a no wait kind of person. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. And we're gonna make sure that we can handle who we accept. So there will be an application process whereby, again, relationships, I'll meet with the families, meet with the students, talk about what their goals are for, what they think their goals are for their child, maybe what, they're looking for, and determine if that's a good match for what we're offering. And then as we may need more space in the future, I go to Steve and say, Mr. Steve, we need more space for the school. And we work through what changes that may cause, I guess, as a ripple effect to the other proposed uses that are on the table now. The first year, being that it only goes through 6th grade, there wouldn't be sports teams necessarily in a traditional sense. We would be welcoming in both traditional students and offering a hybrid option for homeschool families in the area of 2 or 3 days. And I'm also pursuing access to Step Up for Students Scholarship, which, if you're not familiar, that's a scholarship funding organization in the state of Florida that allows families educational choice. So they can actually offset quite a bit of the tuition cost utilizing the funding. And then as we get to middle school is being full 6 through 8, identifying what sports interests the students have, and then communicating with the schools in local Pasco County areas, and setting that up. I was a former athletic director at one point. I've coached volleyball, basketball, played softball. I know people that do those kind of things. They're just waiting to kind of get the nod that we're ready for them. And then the same would apply to high school once we're established in that middle school realm. Matriculating year over year into that high school band, we'll have had those relationships with the community schools and be able to kind of utilize those to leverage and get into the high school sports as well.
So as far as that's concerned though, when you're talking about your trajectory, do you have a general timeline that you're looking at?
Sure, so this year being that K-6, so 26-27 school year, 27-28 school year, my goal is to be able to open for pre-K through 8, so that we can establish those sports kind of relationships, things also as well with drama and art, and integrating those areas of interest as well as music, because again, not all kids have the same interests. And then, really it's a matter of gauging interest in the area too. If we find that there's a big need in middle school, then there's flexibility there in what high school and that timing looks like.
So you're looking at trying to do 7 through 8, the second 2 years, and then by the time that you enter 9th grade, then you
I'll
would
tell
be
you later.
looking at the 3rd year.
Okay.
You would
Correct.
Do you have an anticipated goal once you hit 12th grade of how
Can't
many
hear you.
students will matriculate here?
Oh,
In that, if I had the whole building at my disposal by that time, which I can't guarantee that, I would say somewhere in the 500 to 600 max range. The class sizes would be a maximum of 15 students. And in my entry process, just so you know, I take into account the needs of those students, And if I feel as though a learning group or a class, if you will,
You're scratching
has
me
some
with your
kids
nail.
with some more significant needs or needs of attention, then maybe that class doesn't have 15 in it. So it's not strictly numbers and caps, it's what is best for those kids and functional space. to
But
your
you're
point.
anticipating, once you hit your goal, that a minimum of 600 students will be on this campus 5 days a week during the school year.
I would say minimum is more like, I would say minimum safe bet is probably that 500. If there were spaces in the proposed ballroom kind of wedding venue up in the second loft area that we could use, it could expand to that
Well,
much.
the only place I'm going with this is I drive down different roads and schools and the traffic jams, and there's not a lot of exit and entry in this area, and I'm just wondering how many people are gonna actually be on this corner every day during the week.
Sure, and I think that's a fair question. One of the previous schools I was at, you may or may not be familiar, is over in Wesley Chapel. It's a charter school, Pinecrest Academy. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's not a nightmare I intend to repeat for the sake of a number. So that's part of why I hesitate to give you a hard, firm this. Because if I see that a staggered schedule still creates a traffic jam, then it's not worth it. The goal is to enrich and enhance the community, not make everybody mad that you can't get where you want to go.
Right.
We are gonna have Florida closed off after next year, if not before, because of the combination of the elementary and the middle school. So now we're gonna have Howard and Florida closed off.
Yeah,
As soon as the extension to morning staff comes through by the office.
and they're getting ready to do all of the road work on the corner of 21st and Meridian, so we're gonna have rerouting there. So I don't see how this isn't going, even with just the pre-K through 6, I don't see how this isn't going to create a bigger issue just for timing. Obviously, that's just, I mean, wow. Do you have buses? Or is it all personal cars?
No, it would be private transportation
That would be around.
at this point.
That would be around, but still, I mean, they're gonna permanently block off Florida and Howard, right?
During school hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's not us.
I was gonna say, as far as
It's not
my,
us, but
It's
you
adjacent.
aren't in existence yet. You're not in existence yet. We're talking about things that are already in existence, that are going to already affect, and then,
It's gonna push them down Church Ave, and it's gonna push them
It is.
down other side streets than those two already.
and then we're gonna have the issue with Meridian being blocked off. So what I'm just saying is that's gonna be a permanent thing. And the only time that it's not gonna be in existence is gonna be in the summer and then in the evening.
so what I'm hearing is we can't handle any more road thoroughfares being basically jammed during
It's
school
gonna be-
hours.
Because our ingresses and egresses are gonna be limited to basically 2 through streets. And one of those cross streets that connects you from 52 to this, let's just put it right here as 14th Street, because everything ends at 14th Street, the middle school and elementary
Right.
school and this. So basically from 52 to 14th Street, we're gonna have a major issues. It's a thoroughfare, and this is the only street that's gonna have that thoroughfare. It's gonna be a
Well,
cluster.
yeah, 13th Street, but also we're on Meridian.
It would definitely take a strategic plan for arrival and dismissal.
Yeah, I
The
know.
good news and the bad news of my 3 years at Pinecrest is I've helped to even get their dismissal system where it is. There's a little bit different than everything that we suggested. But again, my intention, and I know y'all just met me like today, so I get it. But my intention and what you'll come to learn about me is I'm good for my work. I'm not gonna cram 600 kids in here and gridlock the whole area. The parents hate it. The community hates it, so it doesn't make sense. So part of the discovery phase, if you will, of this project is, one, maintaining that it's not just maximum enrollment from day one and keeping it in a small town kind of feel, if you will, but then determining as time goes on, I have lots of opinions about the combining of an elementary and a middle school that I won't get into. But the fact is those opinions don't change the traffic. So that falls on me essentially to mitigate that and come up with ways that it's not sitting on your roads. Fortunately, we have a lot of parking space out there that can be made into car lines where cars are sitting in our parking lot instead of sitting on your road.
The reason they won't allow them to close off Florida immediately when school starts is because it's the only egress to the hospital from downtown, from that area downtown. Supposedly, that's the reason they won't let them
I see.
immediately close off Florida. So until they get Morningside Drive extension through to Fort King, then they won't allow them to do that. So the hospital egress is important as well.
What about the drop off and pick up over here, out in front or?
No, the drop off and pickup would definitely be housed in the back. Again, until I know exactly how many families I'm dealing with, because it's really families, how many cars. There's a couple different ways, but again, the ultimate goal would be to operate that on the parking lot. And if such a time comes in enrollment that we find, okay, we've got too many cars to be able to fit that on the parking lot, then I've got to stagger dismissals and I've got to come up with a different structure for that that fits within the parking lot. But that can be addressed a number of ways based on experiences that I've had and knowing obviously, you know, just looking around, there's only so many roads that go so many ways. So that's something I've been pondering as well as we consider what that expansion could look like. In a perfect world, I'd help as many kids as I possibly can fit in the building, but in reality, those other areas you're mentioning have to be considered heavily to maintain the integrity of the area and functionality of it.
Yeah, we may be limited just to that west side, which top and bottom is just right over 300 students. So because of the course.
Well, I'm listening to you, and as a former educator, I'm not questioning your intent at all. But intent is one thing, and
Sure.
actuality and reality is another. So when we start in a direction with an intent, it doesn't always work out that way.
What is she saying?
And when we start changing traffic patterns in this area,
Talk about
it is
traffic.
intent. I can tell you that 14 Road, because I live right on the corner of 14. 14 Road already has doubled its traffic in the last few years.
And how many accidents have there been? Just this last week, there were 2.
Maybe.
Well, now you let it out of the bag that you're formally education, so now I'm gonna wanna talk to you about all
I
those
was a
things
teacher
that you
principal
know.
for 31 years.
That, yeah, see, you know things that I don't know yet, and I would love to have some of those conversations with you and others like you that have knowledge of some of those periphery things that I may not observe from where I am.
What about, so you're talking about, you wanted to ask a question. Do it. Yes, sir.
My name is Bill Laurie. I'm a Dade City boy. Well, Winter Haven and Dade City. I was an elementary teacher and then a principal of Trilby Elementary, and then I moved down to Fort Lauderdale, and my desire was to open up a private school in Fort Lauderdale for the bright average to gifted child who was functioning on or above grade placement. At the present time, we have over 5,000 students in our business. We're recognized as the top private school in Broward County, okay? I live in the house right across the street, okay? If you have a private school here, traffic should not be a problem. We had a public park with about 2 miles from our school, which was less than 1 acre in the size of it. We would bus them into the park, and then they would bus them into the school and drop them off there. So we only had, the buses hold about 60 students, so we would only have minimal traffic coming into the school and staying. Okay, so that's a way that you could handle that sort of situation with traffic. You wouldn't want to bring in 600 cars or 300 cars into this property
Correct.
here. This would be very disruptive to be in my family and Bob and his family and all the rest of the people here. As far as parks, use your public parks for physical education. Bus them to a close park, and then you have plenty of room to do that off campus and not be disruptive. We kept the preschool children here so the parents would not be upset. But we're athletics. We are very large in athletics, but the biggest area we are is in academics. This school wants to be academically very, very strong, be a receptor to the strongest of the strong, okay? That's what I started the school a long time ago down there. It's been very successful. We're in a very prime position for growth in the state. They're offering tuition money or all sorts of gifts to students coming into private schools. So this facility right here could be a good starting place, but you have to be careful that you don't disturb the neighbors and have them constantly at you, okay?
So, Mr. Lowry, when you
Thank
say we want to attract the best of the best, are you referring to employees as teachers, etc., or are you referring to students?
Huh?
Is it just for students or for your staff?
For excellence.
We give, actually, and as an incentive, about 30 years ago, I started giving our teachers free tuition for their children to go to school there.
Got it.
And that was a very strong point where we kept our teachers. We may not be paying them quite as much as they're paid some other places, but they get a free tuition to the school that they're teaching in, okay?
And that's pretty much given for private schools. But the one thing as you grow, high school kids.
I don't see this as a high school or middle school, but pre-K through 6 would be perfect.
You could do high school easily. We did high school with only an acre of land.
I know, but they don't have any land around them to
Not
grow.
enough
Yeah.
real estate.
They don't have anything here. They would have to be bussed out for every sport. It wouldn't work.
By the way, the value of the land increased in volume. I mean, we really, we bought the property for
Pre-K through 6 would be perfect.
practically nothing,
The way
and we sold it for $500,000 an acre.
I mean, so Steve has some
Is that your daughter?
things that are going
She's
on
doing
in
good.
the
She's doing a
same
good job.
vicinity.
Thank you.
We're looking at a B&B that's primarily catering to wedding and social club things.
Yeah, you gotta have the social club to do the weddings.
Okay,
That's what they're,
So-
that's only, they told us that at downtown, that's the only way we can do weddings is by having conditional use as a social.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks for clarifying. Appreciate that. So with that being said, how are you coordinating things like, because I mean, most of their events are going to be weekends and nights. Typically, that's what we would anticipate.
Yeah, we get.
But you were also talking about movie nights, karaoke, stuff like that, activities that are gonna involve the students and families and things like that. Are you gonna have no alcohol?
That'll be, no, can't, not with the school.
Yeah,
No
it
alcohol.
won't be,
So you're gonna have weddings and stuff like that, but you have a no
Yeah,
alcohol?
but I'll get into some future plans, but when they have the wedding, yeah, we're gonna be moving the weddings out to moving that house on the Meridian side and putting up a taller structure, to match after we get this whole 41,000 square foot building renovated. And it's time to pick up that house and move it to another lot and build the, it's gonna be a gym / ballroom, basically. We're gonna have the White House nights out the ballroom.
So Steve, I guess that's my question is, once, as we all know and have figured out from previous city council meetings, Once the zoning is changed or the exceptions are approved, then there's never any going back, even no matter how bad it gets. And I think that's the fear of the community is there's no going back. If it doesn't work out, there's no going back. So I'm assuming that your plan and that you've presented to the planning board or are going to is going to include tearing down and moving that house and doing a bigger building. And in other words, you're going to be very transparent with the planning board what your long-term plans are.
Yeah, they already have.
They do weddings, there'll be
I'm gonna show
alcohol.
you what.
They do
and it's
weddings,
gonna
there'll
show
be
the house
alcohol.
there,
Who?
Where you can
If
put
they
building
do
setbacks are different,
weddings.
so it's 75 feet from the center of the road
Weddings.
down, or it didn't used to be that, so
you hear me?
maybe
They,
the
are
overlays
you talking about the
the
kids?
size of the building.
Parents?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't
it's
allow
just
any
because
drinking on
we also-
campus.
I know.
With the school, it'd be nice to have a gym. This, 95% of
Yes.
these walls are
I
8-inch
mean, they
block
could do
walls. You can't really
parents,
change them.
parent meetings out with
But
alcohol.
when you can put a gym, like the church I moved out of here, they have, where the sanctuary is, they have retractable basketball things and they do basketball tournaments. So by building a combination gym and basically
Dade,
a
gym,
ballroom for the weekends or whatever.
What about, I mean, if, I know that there are other people who are gonna speak, but I gotta get out of here in just a few minutes because I gotta teach my class, but, I mean, I look at this, I see there's the side building, that's a perfect place for a gym right now, you've got everything that you really need in
What
order
do they
to
say?
expand.
No,
It's
Yeah.
that
expansion.
side building over there.
I'm gonna talk and then
Okay.
you can interrupt me
Well, I don't
after.
own that side building. So.
You don't own this, I'm talking about the space where we normally. where we
It's
used to go
contiguous
in.
to the building
There's
here?
an activity center right over there, that's attached to this building.
It's another little sanctuary hall right over here.
No, that's, yeah, that's,
Okay,
I don't know what, you can't use that for a gym or anything like that. I mean, it's just-
Okay, all right, then that's cool. But what I'm saying is that, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I don't really, first of all, building another building on this property, even if you move that one, your building's gonna have a bigger footprint. Now we're dealing with impervious surfaces. We already have an issue with impervious surfaces, which is one of the reasons why the Baptist Church moved out of here, because they couldn't expand their parking lot, okay? So now we're dealing with footprints and all of that of any outbuildings that you put on here, okay? So on top of that, I see it's either a school, and my opinion, because I'm going to differ from my dad, my opinion is I'm fine with the school if you take into account and talk with people like Mr. Lowry, who has great ideas and has already been, 40, 50 years of working with private schools and also working with the neighborhood in order to accommodate them too, because we were here first.
Sure.
So with that being said, and I do appreciate that you're trying to work with us. But for me, when I look at this, I say you're either gonna do a school or you do the other, and combining the two is, to me, gonna be a bit on the difficult side for me to be able to swallow, and I'd have to know more, and hopefully I'll be able to look this video after. So anyway, that's my thought. Does anybody else want to take notes when I leave?
Okay. Leave it to you. I'll give it to your dad.
Yeah, it's gonna increase traffic at night, it's gonna do all kinds of things, and I don't know, I just,
Okay.
the place was built to be a church. Yes, we have schools around here, but the reality is that this is a neighborhood. It is a neighborhood first, and everybody that is here is a homeowner. We have to live, eat, play, all this kind of stuff, and I really just don't want to see it. I don't want to see anything more. If it's during the daytime, that's fine. Most of us are working, all that kind of stuff, and I have mixed feelings about private schools because I feel like it's taken away from our public schools. But at the same time, and again, you have more, but also, I don't have a problem with a private school as far as it being here. But having the night stuff and all of that, that's when it just gets too much for me. So,
Thank you for that.
appreciate y'all. All right, y'all take care, okay?
Say hi to Luna.
We got a
Yes,
question.
sir, I will. Thank you.
My dad.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
She's my child.
I don't know if is it working?
Yes.
So my question is, the picture that you showed looks really nice, okay? And you can correct me, because I don't understand. They're having, for all the schools in the state of Florida, I believe, you have to fence them off now. So is this property gonna be completely fenced off? And how?
It's, well, yeah, like you see the black fence. So the black fencing that you see out there and you have in front of your house, that's the only fencing that I would want to do so you can.
But is that tall enough based on the?
Well,
state
it's gonna,
requirements?
Do you
well, we're
have
gonna
to
go with
fence
that,
off?
whatever's
What? Do you
required
have
by
to
them.
fence off the
Yeah,
property
that's what I do.
lines
It might be
at your
6 feet,
schools
might be
down
4
there?
feet.
What?
Yeah.
I'll catch you ice. No, I have a choice.
I'm not doing chain link. I looked at the other day when I was watching some news reporter was in front of the White House, and it was the black fencing that it makes it easy to see through. We're not gonna go through all this money and not have something that allows you to see it properly, so.
One of the things I will say,
Hold on, Bob.
because I taught in the area, is that a private school is needed in this area.
Yes.
Our school system in Dade City is very lacking
Why do they say no?
competence.
The
Yeah.
school system, the
Gary-
public school system in Dade
Gary
City is
Ridoff was
lacking.
on the street when he's out of town.
Lacking.
He was telling me
Lacking?
that
Yes.
when people get on the website and they see the scores for the local schools here, he thinks it's a deterrent for his house getting sold, so.
Probably.
For young families anyway, I mean, I can speak as a mom of a whole lot of kids. You want to live somewhere in proximity to
Yeah, Bobby had a
school,
question too.
regardless of type, that you feel can
I don't
serve
think I
children
mean-
and educate.
You're like me though, you got a soft voice.
Yes, sir.
All right, so what I was going to bring up, I was talking to Mr. Lowry here and some of the other associates that know a lot about his schools, and it is a federal regulation that you put a fence around the school, so there would be no choice
Well,
but to
I
have.
think we should do it anyway with today's crazy world.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay, that's what.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
there will
Are
be-
you say you're going to move in to show us
There'll be
the
camera
future site?
monitoring,
And,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
I just
Thank you.
know if
You're
it's
welcome.
gonna be-
Just thought I'd point that out. Since
Be
you-
on our board.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry, I'm deaf.
So would you want to be on our board?
Oh, maybe.
Since you're so local and non.
I just resigned. My son is president of the school,
Okay.
and we have more National Merit Scholars than any school in the state. We're tops in athletics, fine arts,
Yeah.
and we have an excellent teaching board because we have their children in our school, which is recognized as the top school in South Florida.
That's great. And you only live right here, right?
What?
The school is in Fort Lauderdale.
No, but he lives.
Right, we live
Oh,
across,
this way.
yeah, the yellow house.
I graduated from that school.
The three-story yellow house
Yeah.
Yeah.
on
Okay.
Meridian.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where we are.
Meridian's side
Right
that
there.
way. Yeah, I know.
Right there, yeah.
So yeah, it'd be great to have you and.
We started with a facility smaller than this one.
Very small.
It was big enough to start a school.
Yes.
I will not
I
put you. It
would
be
definitely would
voluntary
like to learn
it's
from
one.
you and have you put this one
Correct.
for
It
board.
devalues every single thing within sight of here.
Yeah, this would be a great facility for pre-K through 6, for high school now.
And even the AI is changing a lot.
We have 2,200 employees now.
Wow. We won't have that many here. It's not big enough. That's a lot.
I believe it does some good to.
It keeps the honest people out most of the time, then you have to have other measures in place to keep the rest of the people out. Sightly and safe.
They would have to find out what the qualifications, they would have to have qualifications so that students could get the state money. Don't they require a school to have qualifications for the kids to have to get the state money of, what is it,
Not
$8,000?
anymore, I don't think. Everybody gets it.
The funding comes
Oh,
from the
okay,
scholarship.
yes. Yeah,
organization
Jennifer
step up,
gets
the
it too.
families would be responsible to get that.
Every
In the case of the
boy
private
and girl
school
in
type
the
of that
States
scholarship,
gets
the educational
$8,000
options, they would
for-
associate their student's account to our
For
school
school.
in the system,
You can
and
use
that
it for
funding would be
uniforms.
relayed to us quarterly.
We also
In the
have,
case of, the other
Lady
scholarship
Stearns.
type, for example, for that
Lady
hybrid,
Stearns, right?
piece
Your
for
best
homeschool
friend. Yeah.
students,
She
their scholarship
knows all
funding, they
the
would actually go
qualifications.
into, what's called the EMA portal, and submit 2-day-a-week tuition, and then it comes to us. It is not coming directly from the state of Florida as it would in a charter or a public school.
Are you planning in the future to recruit outside of the United States?
Intent-wise, I don't know that I would aim first for that. My intent is first for the community. As you mentioned, the schools in the immediate area are not, competent is the word that was used, so I'll use that word. And so the idea really is for this immediate area first. I can't say that 20 years from now, if we're still here, that there wouldn't be international interest. For sure, I don't see that far in the future, but the intention in the right here and the right now would be that this is the school for this immediate surrounding area, and communities within reasonable distance from here. Obviously, if other families want to come from farther, they can, but the goal really is to have an option available in this area as it's growing to attract those types of families,
Athletes.
people with values, people that value education, and that sense of community that you have established. Yes, sir?
You get involved in sports sometimes, especially smaller sports like basketball. A lot of private schools does offer scholarships and stuff.
I would have to, that would be an area I'd have to find somebody that knows about doing that, because the one experience I have with that in a private school, they did not do it appropriately. And I actually left that school once I found out that they were not doing things correctly in regard to offering scholarships to high school students.
It's scholarship for high school students
So,
Scholarships.
to high school, but this is not a high
I would
school
like to ask a
facility.
question about teacher recruitment, because one of the reasons that Pasco County is going to K-8 schools is because they can't recruit teachers. And so I would say 1/3 of the teachers who are currently in the classroom in the public schools in this area are not certified, they're temporarily certified in education. They don't have any methods courses, they don't have anything that would allow them. They're great practitioners at whatever they did, if it was a carpenter or a doctor or whatever, but they had no methods and practices under their belt. So that's why they're flailing right
Yep.
now. So recruitment is a problem too. I think USF reopened their college education, but they did close it because they didn't even have enough people who wanted to be teachers anymore.
sure.
So I think they reopened it this year though, which I hope they did. But what about teacher recruitment and how do you get that quality? And do they have to have a Florida certification license, etc.?
There will not be teachers in the school that do not have the Florida certification, period. As far as alt ed certifications, if it's particular to that area of expertise, for the trades, if it's a carpenter or an electrician or a mechanical engineer, and that's what they're teaching, great. But it makes 0 sense to me, nor has it ever made sense to me, to have somebody that was I don't want to pick on any particular job, but somebody that's an accountant and then they come in and they're trying to teach kindergartners their letters and sounds. It doesn't make sense. So I myself graduated from USF years ago, early childhood ed major, got my elementary ed certification, added my certification for science because I love teaching science for middle school. Have my reading endorsement K-12, I'm ESOL endorsed, I have a master's degree, I'm pursuing my doctorate. So I can't say that it's gonna be easy to find the level of teacher I'm looking for, but as I shared with Stephen and a few community folks just at an informal meeting months back, if I have to teach in a classroom initially, alongside some folks to make sure that it is the quality and the expertise that it needs to be that I think I hired, then that's what I'm going to do. Because it takes being there, not just catching them in an evaluation or telling them they're not on page 5 of chapter 2 on Tuesday, so now they're in trouble. That's a lot of what I believe contributes in addition to low pay, for people not wanting to go into teaching. That being said, I have all those kids I mentioned. My daughter's 17, she could have graduated at the end of last year as a junior with her Cambridge diploma, with her full credits for Florida. And she was originally gonna go to study to be a forensic scientist. Now she wants to be a teacher. Because she enjoys it, because I've exposed her to what it can look like through some of the homeschool programs when you actually form a relationship with a child and learn about them and teach them academics in a quality way where they learn that they can be successful. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if we could move forward a little bit to some of the other things and plans you have with this, Steve, so that it doesn't get bogged
Yes, I'm
down.
trying to find a nice way to
Thank you.
segue, but I love
Thank
talking
you, I
about
appreciate it.
school. So I'll be available after for anyone who wants
Yep,
to talk about school
okay.
things.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bobby wants to, I think, get to the other buildings and the plans. Is that what you want, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What the other future plans are.
Yeah. So you can see the pink building on the back side. I guess that's pink. Is that pink or red?
It's pink.
Okay.
Salmon. It's salmon.
But that's, you can see it overlaid on the house that's already there. So you can see it's not much, well, I guess it's gonna be definitely taller, but it's not gonna be as close to the road, but that's what we want to make as the gym during the week. And then if we're having an event or wedding event or something, it could be, make a great, dance hall and and that's about 16,000 square feet in that picture. And it's gonna be basically up to, Ava touched on things, drainage and all that stuff. It may be less than that, but that's what we're thinking it could be, but that we're not dictating that. I can't tell you exact size that it can be, but it will be definitely a lot better usage than a house that's taking up 2,800 square feet on a whole city block. It's just, having that house there is not going to do us very much good as far as for the education and for what the future plans are.
Can we get a copy?
I need you a copy of that. Yeah, I'll give you a big one. Okay. So, and we may have one extra already around here today. So.
Steve, will you utilize the front of the church as it stands right now? You are going to extend it any that way?
Not going to extend it, but it definitely needs a lot of cleaning up. And so, right, yeah, it doesn't need to be extended out any further. I'm going to get with actually Mike Barthel and the state requirements on the fencing, because we need to get a jump on that too. But it's going to be the black, probably square tube fencing that goes up. That way you can see through it. We put white out there, it's just going to look like a mess. So, any other questions?
Is there any other, that's only?
That's it,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And
All right.
the reason when Ava was talking about expansion, and we have to keep increasing. We're going to be putting in sprinkler systems and all that stuff, and it's 41,000 square feet upstairs, downstairs. So we've already got a plan in place that we're working with fire department and all that on. So I can't just open up 41,000 square feet right away anyway. So that we're concentrating on the west wing, the lower section, and that's what we've been working on now for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks to, and all the walls in there, we're not knocking down any walls. They're all 8-inch thick walls. The ones that are on the outside, they're all poured solid concrete with brick. They're like 13 inches solid. So it's not easy to make changes. So it's going to take a while to be creative in how we utilize each room. That's why on the other side, on the upstairs, the bed and breakfast, 3 of those rooms are just like a common area and all these little small spider type rooms off to the side, which would be great for having like 3 suites for weddings and people that are flying in for the weddings and the wedding parties, and then you'll have 3 extra rooms. They're pretty good sized rooms, but they all need to have bathrooms added to the 6 rooms.
So the bed and breakfast will strictly be.
Just for the wedding events, just the weekends, just for the weddings.
So what interfere with the school, and are you still planning on the club thing?
Well, that has to be,
The social club, we have the kitchen. I might expand on the kitchen for the wedding events, so we can help.
And that's part of the social.
That the only thing that under conditional use that allows me to do weddings is the social club or country club, but we don't have a golf course. I may put a golf simulator up there.
Right.
No, I'm serious. There's lots of rooms up there, so we're gonna have a social club. Why not have a golf simulator? Card room and stuff. But
So are you going to ask for, are you going to bundle all this when you talk with the planning commission and the city commissioners to approve any sort of conditional use? Are you going to bundle this all together, or are you going to?
I've already had meetings with them. That's how I got that picture. They give me advice because it's his first time for doing something like this. So.
I'm saying you're bundling the exception for the school and the exception for the bed and breakfast and the exception for the
The building is all in the plans, yes. Because we can't plan ahead if we have to keep going through all these, approvals.
But you would have to build that size venue for the
No,
school
it
anyway.
may be smaller,
I'm
because,
just saying you'd have to build an additional building, you're saying, for a gym for the school anyway.
yeah, you can never use that house for a gym, or, it just makes no sense, and, marketing wise too, if we make this look like the White House and they put the ballroom at the, which is going to make it look like the ballroom, it's gonna be a fancy gym, so, but it also will double as a nice place to have a wedding reception as well, so.
Will the church still be attending?
Will they be?
Oh, the church is still, I know, they're excited about the changes, yeah. Because it's gonna help, they feel it's gonna help get their attendance bigger as well.
Coordination of planning.
Yeah,
My OCD will be very well utilized.
Yeah.
I feel like the question was asked earlier about, before she left, how will you coordinate? It's not gonna be a wedding every single weekend of the calendar, so it's gonna have to be quite an orchestrated calendar. If you ever do meet with me outside of this place, you'll see I keep color-coded calendars. The color coding is personal. This organization, this and that, and I keep it on paper like old school, because then I can see it and be able to make sure that I'm not overlapping, because yes, we want, we want to enrich, the greater concept of Dade City and enhance that by having a venue that's available for weddings and events like that. But ultimately, we have to be cognizant of, as you guys have mentioned, okay, well, what does that foot traffic look like? What is the impact on the neighborhood right around us in the immediate area? But then the school has to have those events. It's not gonna be a community school with a sense of community and culture within it without having those events. So the scheduling will be probably me, probably not under Steve's calendar. It'll probably be mine or someone that works with me.
If your plans all go according to the way you've planned now, when do you expect your first student to walk on campus?
Ideally, the first student will walk on campus August 17th.
Of this year?
Yes, sir.
So you'll have the fences up,
We would have to. If it's not all up and it's not
you
all,
will have hired educators. This is July 11th.
And put all those required sprinkler systems in.
but no, the sprinkler systems, they're working with us on time frames, just like they are with some other schools around here. We have, most of these walls are pretty much 3-hour fire rated walls. Bad case scenario, they're 2 hours, which is perfectly fine. All these, 95% of the walls or more are not solid, this outside walls for each section. There's like 3 sections that was built in looking through it on the plans. Those are poured solid, but the divider walls are not poured solid, but they're still 8-inch CMU block. All the rafters are, the beams and the trusses are all steel. Each floor is divided by a concrete floor. So this place is not, this is where we should have, you know, our hurricane parties at for the neighborhood, because it's not, I don't even have to, I'm not even required to have wind insurance because how well this building is built. So yeah, so I have a generator company that's sharing space in my warehouse, and I'm gonna get them to see if they can, since they're actually in my same office with me, is to put a nice generator system, because they do them for colleges and they do them for hospitals and stuff. But yeah, this would be a great place to just have a big hurricane party when we have one coming. So.
Well, and to loop back, because I see the look on your face, I'm not insane, I promise. You're right, it's a tall order,
Yeah, with
but
a month.
that's where, again, if year one is me, one room, like teaching a small group of kids for that first year, and we grow slow, then we grow slow.
I understand that, and that's,
It won't be
appreciated, yeah.
full, it won't be, we have one of every grade level and we're full.
Gotta crawl before
by
you
August.
walk, yeah, I
Yes.
understand that.
I
It's
just was like, I see your
It's just that
concern.
all the plans that you've come to, now all of a sudden, you're almost at a deadline. If you're gonna have students
We've
come
been-
in here in
we've-
August.
but we've
And
been
now all of
working
a
on
sudden,
it.
you're gonna whip all this stuff up in less than a
It's
month?
not all of a sudden, just so you know.
Okay.
No, it's just, and if, again, the first, this year is in only the downstairs of this section.
Yeah.
So that enrollment's going to be limited by nature of the space, and then it's gonna be at discretion almost of what high quality educator can I find to join me in this venture, and that's how we can accept students in this first
Your
year.
goals, I think are wonderful, I think your plans are great. I'm a little concerned that you can do it as quick as you say, having seen this set here for a year and almost nothing done.
Sure.
Well, you haven't. seen
I
what's been
realize I
going
haven't
on
been
inside.
inside, I understand that, but I watch the work trucks that come by, I sit right there on my window and watch
Yeah,
what
okay,
goes on
but,
here.
yeah, we'll be ready.
Okay.
I've put my own paint strokes on most of the walls that are at this.
She comes from a painting
I
family,
have
so
the
even her
trim.
daughters are
If
great
you need
painters.
paint trim done in your
I've
house,
already
I
got
got
faith in you, hon.
You had a question?
I do.
She does want it.
Now, they're gonna be here and they're gonna start. So I'm sure you're gonna serve lunch and need a cafeteria. So, they're bringing their own bag.
Yep, they'll bring their own bag lunches. So, yeah, there is a whole
That's good.
litany
That's how
of
we started.
insanity that would come with trying to have a cafeteria. Again, we have the kitchen there, maybe 10 years from now, if the whole thing does become a school, we decide to do, school lunches. But that comes with student nutrition services. My mom did that for years over at Steinbrenner High School and Gaither High School in Hillsborough County. That is no small deal. So for a plethora of reasons, including the timeline that we do have, even when we first started looking at this at the end of last year and started putting things in motion, bring your lunch. I'm the type, mom of 7 kids, no kids going hungry. If I gotta find you something to eat for lunch and call your parents and make sure it's okay for you to have it because you forgot your lunch or they're having a hard time or whatever, the kid is gonna eat, but it just won't be,
Peanut butter and jelly.
right, yeah, it won't be that, but it won't be a school lunch, program similar to what you see in the traditional public schools.
What are your hours? Have you done the school?
Yeah,
After, you
so.
don't have after
I'm gonna
school?
show, good question. So, I'm gonna switch over just a second when I'm showing you. Run my own. So this is a website, this is live, it's been live for a minute. Can't say as everybody knows, that we exist quite yet, because we're new. But it's provided instructional